Welcome to Labyrinth of the Bizarre, a podcast where we discuss, review, and analyze speculative fiction, such as horror, apocalyptic, dark fantasy, and other subgenres. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Elia.
In today's episode, we are discussing the DC movie Birds of Prey, which was released earlier this year in 2020.
Just to remind y'all the premise of the movie, after breaking up with the Joker, Harley Quinn and 3 other women go through this chaotic journey of emancipation from oppressive men and institutions in their lives, while simultaneously saving a young girl named Cassandra Cain from a crime lord.
Before we get into discussing the movie, we just wanted to cover a bit of the representation both on and off screen. I'll cover the on-screen representation. So Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya are explicitly queer in the movie. Harley is bi and Renee is a lesbian. Renee is also Latina, Black Canary is black, and Cassandra Cain is an Asian girl.
As for some off-screen representation, Journey Smollett-Bell, who plays Black Canary, is black and Jewish. Rosie Perez, who plays Renee Montoya, is Puerto Rican. And I also want to point out that Rosie is 56 years old, and Hollywood has a huge ageism problem for cis women, especially for women of color. Ella J. Bosco is a Korean Filipina. Kathy Yan, the director, is a Chinese woman, and a lot of the crew are women too. That's one of the things the cast and crew praise when they talk about the making of Birds of Prey, because the environment was really different because there was a lot of women on set. Hiring minorities doesn't really mean anything if you don't listen to them, and Kathy Yan did. When the hairstyle they were trying to give Black Canary wasn't working with Journey's hair, she spoke up and they hired someone who could work with black hair. And so that's some on-screen representation. Trigger warnings for this movie. In general, there is a lot of swearing and violence, as well as bones breaking. There are self-harm scars on Victor Zsasz's body. There's torture, alcohol addiction, and drug use in the police department and in the Black Mass Club. There is a puking scene in the beginning of the movie. It is implied that an animal eats a person. There's implied gore, specifically face peeling, at 11 minutes and 40 seconds into the movie. There is an attempted sexual assault and kidnapping 30 minutes into the movie, and sexual assault 1 hour and 5 minutes into the movie. And lastly, there is a brief off-screen implied animal death. I don't know if that counts as a trigger warning, but I included it in there because I don't like it when animals die. So I just wanted to start off with some behind the scenes knowledge that I have about this movie. Margot Robbie worked really hard to make this movie happen. She had to convince executives that a superhero movie with all women could sell, and that an R-rated movie about women would sell. So there is an issue with the lineup. There's no Batgirl/Oracle. Black Canary and Huntress are founding members of the Birds of Prey, but the leader, Oracle, is not in this movie. Barbara Gordon is the first Batgirl, and when she becomes paralyzed from the waist down, she takes on a new identity, which is Oracle. So it would have been really great to have a wheelchair user be in this movie. Why wasn't she in it? The reason is Joss Whedon. He was selected to direct and produce a Batgirl solo movie, which is why I didn't have the rights to have her in Birds of Prey. It's been in development since 2017, but it has since been abandoned, and rightfully so, because Joss Whedon is notoriously known for his cis sexism, racism, and harassment, and also his problematic on-screen representation for minorities. I won't get into it, but if you do want to look into his most recent case, you can look up the hashtag #IStandWithRayFisher to learn more. Lastly, I want to mention some leaks that I know of. Always take leaks with a grain of salt, but half of the ones I know always have turned out to be true, so, I don't know, do what you want with the leaks that I tell you. Harley Quinn was supposed to have an additional queer scene in the Black Mass Club, which was cut out. She was supposed to reference another woman in the club who was her ex-girlfriend, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Why did they cut that out?
Yeah, why did they cut that out? Exactly my thoughts. Roman Sionis was also supposedly going to be explicitly gay. Explicitly.
He is. He is.
He's not. He's not.
I know.
I wish. I really wish.
Cowards.
There are 2 different leaks on Roman Sionis' sexuality, but both are really complicated, so I won't get into it. I also just wanted to point out that while DC and Warner Brothers have given directors a lot more creative freedom with these characters, like more so than Disney and Marvel, there's still a lot of bullshit treatment these creators get from Warner Brothers. And like other DC directors, Kathy Yan has subtly implied on Twitter that Warner Brothers has forced her to change some stuff in the film. And those Roman and Harley leaks are rumored/theorized to be some of those changes. Also, I just want to say that Chris Messina and Ewan McGregor casually said in an interview together that their characters are gay. So, just do what you want with all this information.
It's canon in our hearts.
In our hearts, yeah. In my soul. Lastly, I want to preface this episode by saying that we are not going to be delving too into comic book lore. This isn't an analysis on its comic book accuracy, and I don't want to have like a meta conversation because I feel it's very exclusive to people who don't know a lot about comics. The DCEU is artistically different, and I respect and view each film as its own creative piece of art, but at the same time I will also acknowledge essential parts about each character that was left out in the film, and I'll bring that up as we talk throughout this episode.
Yeah, not everybody reads the comics.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't want to be an asshole. Only assholes do that. Harley Quinn. She's queer in this movie.
We love it. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I really wish that it was more explicit.
Yeah, it's only like really shown in that one beginning moment where it says she had an ex-girlfriend, and beyond that they don't ever mention it again.
There's a theory because the animation, the her ex-girlfriend has like red orange hair, and there's a theory that that's poison ivy, and we're like, oh my god, are they setting up so that they're ex-girlfriends and in a future movie they're gonna like reconnect with each other?
Wait, is that one of the reasons why they cut it out? Because they were like, no, you don't have rights for that yet or something?
No, I don't. No. The leak that I saw, it was just I think it was one of the roller skating girls, the roller derby girls.
Okay,
Jesus Christ,
yes,
I forgot the name. That was supposed to be one of her ex-girlfriends. It wasn't supposed to be Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
But that would have been, I don't know, if that turns out to be true, I think that'd be really interesting.
I hope they make another movie. That'd be fun.
I have a lot of things to say about that, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very unlikely that they're going to make another movie, unfortunately.
Sucks to suck. So, I think she's wonderful. I think Harley Quinn is an amazing character. And I remember watching Suicide Squad for the first time and thinking, wow, she's great.
Yeah, I mean, like, she carried that movie.
She really did. It's her movie.
Her and Deadshot, Will Smith.
Yeah. Fuck the Joker. I don't know how people got obsessed with him. Anywho.
I love Margot's interpretation of Harley. Like, I really think she brings the character to life and, like, just adds so much more to her.
Yeah. And I like the development that they had of Harley from Suicide Squad to Birds of Prey. Because, like, you can even see, like, this entire movie is about her, like, separating herself from Joker and establishing her own identity. And you can really see it through, like, the character design. Anywho, she's wonderful, and I love all her outfits, and she just looks great.
Oh my god, yeah. I also just really love Margot's Brooklyn accent. For some reason, I don't like hearing it from other actors, but when Margot does Harley, I really liked the Brooklyn accent. And by other actors, I mean other people who have voice acted for Harley Quinn. I don't know, I just don't like the accent, but like when Margot does it, I'm like, wow, it's beautiful.
Something that I noticed in the film is that, I don't know, I entered the superhero world through Marvel, tragically.
Same.
And
don't worry.
And every time somebody gets hurt, the next scene, they're magically healed. This is a problem I have, and it's why I stopped loving superhero movies for a few years before I found Superman. Anywho, I love the Superman movies, but that's nothing. I can't compare with Elia, but anywho. I love that in this movie, the scene where she gets punched by Roman, I believe, she gets a little cut on her lip. And the little cut on her lip remains present throughout the entire film. And it's just something so tiny. It's so tiny. The fact that she has scarring and, like, it affects her, and it's not like something that just happened to her. It affected her, and it changed her relationship with Cassandra, and she had to make up for it. And it's just like, I don't know. And
they deliberately chose to do that because, like, they have to keep up that continuity throughout the film.
Yeah. And it just doesn't heal magically. No girl boss healing.
Oh yeah, no girl boss healing.
People can get hurt in this movie.
I think I really like this interpretation of Harley because I mean there's villain, there's hero, and there's anti-hero. I feel like in the DCEU, this Harley is more anti-hero, and I really like that because I mean, not only is it really much more easier to root for a character like that, but I feel like it makes her really interesting and refreshing in terms of, like, comic book movies.
Yeah, Hollywood has a habit of turning women characters who are evil or just have bad tendencies and attempt to make them good, as we saw with Disney's Maleficent. It's an evil character that was just turned like, oh, she was just misunderstood. And I felt like they could have attempted that with Harley. But the choice at the end that she didn't want to be in the Birds of Prey, she still wanted to be the...
It's true to herself.
Yeah, and I love that. Like,
embrace
yeah.
the fact that not every person is a good person. Like,
Yeah,
that's fine.
and they're not good because of their gender. They're not good because of anything.
It's so sad that you bring up Maleficent, because that would have been a really good movie if she was just like stayed bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to like humanize her by making her like more like kind or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. There's so much to undig with that, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the last thing I just want to say about Harley is that I really love the premise of this movie. It's literally her emancipation from the Joker. And like you said, just seeing how that transitions from Suicide Squad to Birds of Prey, and just like seeing her heal from the trauma and abuse that she suffered from the Joker, and like healing with friendship, like in a supportive network of people. I mean, like I don't know if they're friends yet. I guess like killing men together can be counted as a bonding activity.
They see each other, and that's like something that they need.
Yeah. They've all suffered because of cis men, and they're bonding from that.
You know what gets me mad that I just realized it? The year Suicide Squad came out, everybody and their mothers dressed up as Harley Quinn. Nobody dressed up as Harley Quinn. Well, there is a pandemic, of course, but like, nobody dressed up as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I know. And there's definitely a lot less, well, I mean, you could see in the box office numbers, a lot less people watch this movie.
Yeah.
Even though the world has been begging for a all-women superhero film.
No, they only want the Black Widow one.
It's very why not just support both? I don't get it. Oh, you could feel the pettiness now.
Oh, Elia made a Harley Quinn's jacket, and it's really
yes,
cool.
I did.
Look at it on their Twitter.
It's also on my Instagram, but I changed the colors. It's the caution tape jacket, and I switched the colors to the trans flag.
Very good.
Yeah.
10
I was
out of 10.
gonna wear it to a convention, and then the pandemic happened. I'm so upset. Okay, Black Canary.
My wife. I love her.
A lot of people are really racist about the casting, but after the movie and seeing the scene that implies that Dinah's mother was Black Canary first, and Dinah took up the mantle afterwards, suddenly they were okay with it because she was quote-unquote not the original Black Canary. However, it is extremely hypocritical because that's exactly how it is in the comics.
Oh my fucking god.
So people are just super racist and don't know how to look up character bios on Wikipedia.
And then they claim they're the comic stan. He's like, yeah, I actually read the original comic.
Exactly. I haven't even read any Dinah solo comics, and like it's just, you literally just have to Google it, and like you would find out that her mother was Black Canary first. Dinah is one of the main heroes in the Justice League and the Birds of Prey. She is a martial artist and is usually portrayed in a relationship with Green Arrow, aka Oliver Queen.
She's in a relationship with me.
Oh my god, stop!
I had never heard of her before, and I'm ready to lay down my life after this movie for Black Canary.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't heard of Black Canary before, how was your first impression of her?
I was in love. Absolutely in love. Okay, the actress, Journey, I was already in love with because of Lovecraft Country. Okay, so let's get that out the window. And I see her here, and she has like a different look. She looks amazing. She sings. And that fight scene where she saves Harley from those men. Oh my gosh. It's wonderful. Also, she's like the character, what's that character trope?
I don't know which one.
The one with the golden heart. The golden heart. She's literally dressed in gold all the time. And you could see it like with how she treats Cassandra and how she's like, oh, here, like have some money when Cassandra's parents or foster parents are being messy in their homes. Mm-hmm. And she's like always trying to do the right thing, even though like she really doesn't want to deal with it sometimes. She's a hero at heart. She has a golden heart, and I love her. Like, even with Harley.
Yeah, I love her dynamic with Harley in this movie.
Let them date.
Oh, it's so funny that you... Okay, like, I already ship Harley and Dinah before this movie. Oh. I literally... one of my bullet points for my notes is do not mention shipping them. but I brought
is it one of the ones you have a playlist?
No, I don't. I don't. No, it's because in one of the comics, Injustice, Harley's kind of like an anti-hero in that comic, and she becomes like friends with Oliver and Dinah, and spoiler alert, Oliver Queen dies, and so it's just Dinah and Harley.
Yes.
And I feel like that their relationship, I mean, it was very sporadic, I guess, because of the comic was very messy, but just their relationship, and I was like, oh my god, they should date now that Oliver Queen's dead.
Do it. Just do it.
But yeah, in the movie, I really love their dynamic, because like in the beginning, you know, Dinah didn't give a fuck about Harley, and then Harley was like, oh, me and the Joker broke up, and we're kind of the same because men have this power over us. And then they just like later on they get like some banter, and then she goes along with Harley's chaotic jokes and shenanigans, and I just think they're so cute together.
The dinner scene at the end.
Oh my god,
when they're just chatting, and I think that's just a good moment, a good peaceful moment that this film deserves.
And then Harley runs away with a car.
Yeah, I love it. Stay true to your character, Harley. Don't just change because of this stupid mess. Okay.
I also wanted to ask you, or just bring up, the canary cry, Dinah's superpowers. A lot of people found this disorienting, but how did you think about it? What do you think about it?
I didn't really understand what her power was until she actually used it at the end. It seems like it was just yelling, and she shatters people's eardrums, and that's what I understood. But I also got, when it was at the Blast Mask Club, I thought she was like, she could control people with her singing. And that's what I thought of at first. It was confusing a bit.
Okay, because for me, I thought that the implication was very clear that when she was singing, her voice was strong enough to crack glass or break glass. She broke the glass completely. So I just thought it was like very well established. But I've seen this movie 3 or 4 times in theaters, and like every time there's always someone who's very like confused whenever they see the power at the end of the movie. And I was just wondering like if that was established very well or not.
I knew it had something to do with her voice. It wasn't shocking because of that. I just didn't exactly understand what her voice did. Like I knew it was powerful enough to break glass, and it wasn't super shocking that it was like super powerful to hurt people or something. But I also didn't know the character, and I don't know much about her at all beyond the movie.
But there's also like an issue of how she's the only one with superpowers and everyone else doesn't. So it could be just like that it's just so, I don't know the word for it, but you know, like it's just so contrasting to like finally to like suddenly have a character to have superpowers in the movie. So that maybe that's why people found it disorienting. But yeah, I just wanted to see your thoughts on
I guess
how
it's
they
like one of
established
those things like in Watchmen. When I was watching it, I really was expecting them to have powers. I was like, where are their fucking powers? And it was only Dr. Manhattan who had shit, so I understand why people are shocked when everybody else doesn't have powers and suddenly one of them does. I don't know. It's just expectations, I guess.
Renee Montoya, played by Rosie
Love
Perez.
Her.
Renee Montoya is a superhero called Question. There's
she actually has a name?
Yeah, I honestly forgot that she was a superhero because she's always portrayed as a cop. Yeah.
Damn, and I searched her and the Wikipedia did not say that.
Well, her hero name is Question, so maybe you kind of skimmed over it and didn't register it as a superhero name. But yeah, she's always portrayed as a cop, similar to Jim Gordon, who always helps Batman. I'm not sure how often Renee Montoya is played as Question in comics. Maybe it's something that's still kind of new, but yeah, she does have a superhero name. There was another character who goes by Question too, and Renee Montoya picked up his mantle afterwards.
What is her power? What is it?
I don't think she has a power. I think she just goes by Question. It's similar to how she is in the movie.
What a stupid ass name. Somebody help her.
Oh my god. She's questioning, and then she comes out of the closet. I don't know.
Oh my god, please.
Get me out of here.
Might as well call her Closet then.
But yeah, she's lesbian in canon and has dated / is dating Batwoman, aka Kate Kane, who is also a lesbian.
Wow! We love the lesbian representation.
So I feel like the topic we want to talk about the most is Renee Montoya's alcoholism.
Yeah, it's always funny to me how every time cops are in movies, they're alcoholics. It's like there's a problem with being a cop. But
maybe. Interesting.
But I fully expected that the film was going to show her to suddenly like be throwing away her bottles at the end, because that's what films normally do. Like, oh yes, friendship healed her. She's no longer alcoholic. And I was surprised that even in the last scene, she was still drinking. I was like, oh, she's not magically fixed. I love that.
And I also like, because contrary to like alcoholism being quote unquote fixed at the end of the movie, there's also this trope of treating alcoholism as like, ooh, quirky, they have a drinking problem. And I really like that they didn't follow that trope.
Yeah. It was not that it's refreshing to see somebody like having a problem
Well,
with
it's refreshing to have it presented in like a real
Yeah.
way, you know?
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw that they actually aged the character up for the film.
Yes, they did.
Okay. That's amazing.
They did age her up, which is...
I was going to say old, but she's not old.
Well, she's 59.
That's not really old.
In Hollywood,
Okay.
that is very old. And I'm just very happy that they decided to age her up. And, you know, because I feel like often when women are given, when older women are given roles, they're often pushed aside and they're like treated as like the motherly figure, you know? I don't really know much about like the tropes that older women get.
Like the nanny, the grandma.
Yeah. Like I mean, I don't remember tropes off the top of my head, but like as an older actor getting a superhero role who is actively like fighting and being a badass and stuff like that, I feel like that's really awesome.
It's like most of the time, if you're an older woman in a superhero movie, you're going to be Aunt May in Spider-Man. You're going to be the aunt to the superhero who's maybe going to die and you're going to become the origin story or something like that.
Yeah, older women just don't get a lot of like
they don't get to be
good
the
roles
heroes
in Hollywood.
And be messy.
Yeah, they're just kind of be like the mentor.
Yeah.
They don't get is dynamic roles the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah, if you mean that they're usually like static, that they are unchanging.
Yeah, I guess so. Like they don't usually get roles that are very challenging. You know, there's just a lot of like older woman tropes in Hollywood, and to have like a main character like Renee Montoya, who is being played by an older actor, I just think it's really great.
Not only an older actor, but she's playing like an older queer woman, and I love it.
And a person of color.
Wow.
Huntress, aka Helena Bertinelli. Complicated comic lore that I personally do not know much about because I haven't read it. But there are two different Huntresses. A few decades ago, Helena Wayne was Huntress, and she is the child of Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very complicated. I think it was like an alternate world sort of thing. I don't know what the fuck was going on over there. I wasn't gonna spend 30 minutes on Wikipedia doing that. The other is similar to the backstory that was in Birds of Prey. Helena Bertinelli has been portrayed as a person of color and other times as a white person. I think DC missed an opportunity here to have another additional superhero of color. It's not explicit what her ethnicity is, but her skin is dark brown in the comics, and she would have been an Italian of color. Bummer.
She's also, in my eyes, she's queer. Every scene in the film suggests it.
This movie is very queer.
Yes. Okay.
You know what's a really popular ship though? I thought it was gonna be Harley and Dinah, but it's actually
Huntress and Dinah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Do you not remember the quote where she
know,
comments?
I'm coming
I like
into
how
this
your
with
pants
bias,
look when you
though.
kick.
Yeah,
I
know.
like how your pants look when you kick.
Yeah, because she was
Bitch
staring
was
at her
looking
ass.
at her butt. Yeah, exactly.
Said at the same time. Oh my god.
She had very, very, before I get into the other thing, she had very, very little screen time compared to the other characters. And yet, her personality comes through so well. She's a quirky bitch that is awkward as fuck. And it just comes through. And I don't know if it's because I could relate to her personality a lot and I could develop it in my head. The mirror scene was amazing. Her awkward flirting with Black Canary was amazing. Having a hard time just like conversing with people.
And like her hardcore dedication to like her look, her appearance for her superhero. Yeah, because I really
They
love.
call me Huntress.
I really love a scene in the Booby Trap when Huntress is applying makeup for her costume, and I really love that because like you don't see that in comic book movies, like people preparing their look for like a fight.
And it's like it's so emotional for her because she has to get in the headspace too. She's like, I'm Huntress. She's looking in the mirror and she's just talking to herself, getting into the space as Huntress.
I love her because they used Huntress as like an opportunity to show like the behind the scenes of superheroism in a more realistic sense than or more grounded sense than some other comic book movies.
I thought she was great. Every scene she came out in, I was laughing because she's just
so
so funny.
She's so funny. When she was like, my name is, and they were like, holy shit, it's Helena Bernelli. Just like, for God's sake.
And what were they calling her before?
The crossbow killer.
The bow and arrow. The crossbow killer. And they kept on gendering her as a man.
Yeah. Well, that I mean,
so
the
funny.
movie itself is just commentary on cis sexism. So
yeah.
Okay, so Cassandra Cain, played by Ella J. Basco. So Cassandra Cain is the most controversial character out of all of them. Movie Cassandra Cain is an entirely original character. The only similar thing about her is the name and that she's Asian. Cassandra Cain is a child of 2 assassins, and her father was very abusive. She was raised to be non-speaking so that she could solely focus on being the perfect assassin. I want to point out that Cassandra Cain is one of the few nonverbal characters who aren't written as childlike or some kind of degrading perception of nonverbal people. At some point, she runs away from her abusive father to find herself under the wings of Barbara Gordon, the original Batgirl, now Oracle. Cassandra has her own solo comic where it is a mentor and student storyline between 2 disabled women. So it goes without saying how extremely bad this disabled erasure is from Warner Brothers / DC / the Birds of Prey screenwriters.
What the
Yeah, what the fuck? That's my reaction exactly.
So, I know a lot of people have a problem. I'm just going to bring up the boys for a second. Kimiko, how she doesn't talk, a lot of people have a problem with that because they say that a lot of Asian characters are made into like these stoic, non-speaking people. But I feel like a lot of the criticisms erase the fact that she actually does talk. She just uses sign language.
Yeah, because to assholes, sign language isn't defined as a real language to them.
Maybe they were thinking like, oh, we should give her a voice now, that will make her powerful, but I'm like, no,
that just feels like disabled erasure.
Yeah, it's just disabled erasure. You're trying to avoid racism by doing disabled erasure, and it's just dumb. And it's not even racist. People are mute and they use sign language. That's fine.
I mean, I was definitely one of those people who was really disappointed that she wasn't given a speaking role. Just because I'm pretty sure that in Hollywood you get paid less if you don't have a speaking role. So I wanted her to, but she's also listed as one of the main characters, and I was afraid that maybe she would be knocked down in season 2. But she has continuously been one of the main characters throughout the show. And the fact that she's mute isn't served as like some kind of, it's not degrading. Well, I haven't caught or read anything that she is being degraded.
I haven't seen anything yet, and I think it's interesting how instead of trying to teach her how to speak, the other characters are trying to learn how to talk. Definitely. Things can be done respectfully, and you don't have to like erase somebody's disability because you're afraid of something else. It would have just been so good. We could have had moments with Harley speaking in sign language or something.
Oh yeah, we definitely could.
Because 100% she would have learned or knows
I mean, Harley would still. Harley would have still like had this. Would have had the same dynamic with Cassandra regardless.
Exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't have changed anything. They just wanted to erase it.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. I just feel like they definitely could have worked with it. Yeah.
They were like, we already have enough representation.
Well, they did cut back on the queer representation, so.
Yeah.
I love her dynamic with Harley, especially in the apartment and at the end of the film when we're in the car together. But it's very difficult to like her entirely just knowing the amount of erasure in the movie.
I didn't know about the erasure, but even as somebody who didn't know about it, she wasn't portrayed as as interesting of a character as the rest of them.
Definitely. I think it would have been completely fine if they did just make an original character that they would never show again in future films. Because they used the name Cassandra Cain, and so now you don't get to have this. You can't retcon that and have the actual Cassandra Cain who does play Batgirl and who is a nonverbal assassin. Like, you can't have that anymore because you've already used the character for something else. And so I feel like it's just such like a missed opportunity and just a real insult to the disabled community.
Wow.
That's all I have to say about Cassandra Cain, though.
I didn't have anything else to add on to this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she wasn't interesting to me.
Which is so sad because I thought it was really great that they chose a child actor, like an Asian child actor.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have done so much.
Like, the reason we care about her is because other people care about her, not because we care about her.
Yeah, I feel like they just like slapped the name on to be like, ooh, look, we've got a bunch of comic book people here.
Also, what is it with movies and giving a bad person a child in order to humanize them? Like, why?
Well, I feel like
everything does this.
What else does that though?
Wolverine. Well, he's not a bad person, but they give hard people or people who are maybe misunderstood a child to deal with. It happened in the Wolverine. It happens in video games a lot. It happens.
I mean,
I don't know. I always see it and it
about...
annoys me. And mainly because I'm like, a child shouldn't be the reason you change.
Well, I mean, it's been a really long time since I've watched the Wolverine movie, but you're talking about the one that he dies, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I didn't interpret it to be like a humanizing one though.
No? Okay.
No, because she, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you know this, but the kid is the next Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I knew it.
Okay. I just felt more like a Wolverine passing on his mantle to me.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't like
but
it.
Yeah, I definitely see that, like,
children, soften people, like, fuck no.
Do you hate children?
I don't hate children. I love children, and that's why I don't want them to go through that.
I'm just wondering.
No, because I love them. Because I want to protect them from people. I don't want them to be the reason that adults deal with their problems through them.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not like the movie did this, actually, I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm just saying that Hollywood uses this trope a lot of giving or presenting a child that softens the adult. And I'm like, no, the adult should be smart enough to not be an asshole.
Well, I think
without a child.
To contrast what you're saying, that, yeah, like, Birds of Prey doesn't follow that trope that you're talking about, because Harley does remain to be, like, the anti-hero that she is. But Cassandra sticks with her throughout the movie, so.
Yeah, she really wants to be a bad guy. Well, not a bad guy.
She wants to be morally gray, I suppose. I mean, I just so many. I mean, there's just so much opportunity for shit talking about Cassandra Cain in the movie, but I'm just gonna move on. She's just so bland. I really wish that they made her the assassin that she is instead of whatever the fuck this is. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna talk about Roman Sionis and Victor Zsasz, played by Chris Messina and Ewan McGregor. Black Mask is one of the most prominent crime lords in Gotham City. And yeah, it's canon that he has daddy issues because he was emotionally neglected by his parents, which I empathize with, but crime is not the path you want to take, buddy. Roman is a dramatic spoiled baby in the comics as well. However, unlike the comics, Roman is very skilled in combat and weaponry and torture, which we didn't get to see in this film. Roman Sionis in this film feels like he's still in the early stages of his crime years. There are different ways as to how this actually happens, but the mask that Black Mask wears is actually permanently melted onto his face. I didn't expect that to happen in this movie because he's not the focus of the film, and it definitely would have been rushed if it was in the movie, but I was hoping it would happen in a future movie. I'm still hoping that him exploding into pieces was just Harley's unreliable narration. I desperately want him back.
He dead.
No, he's not. He's fine.
Dead.
He's fine.
Exploded. We could completely trust Harley.
To quote my sibling Robin, they blew his ass up. But he's not. He's okay. He's fine, guys. He's just in the ocean.
Sure.
As for Victor Zsasz, his appearance is very different in the comics, and fucking thank the gods for that. Chris Messina makes Victor Zsasz conveniently attractive, and his clothing taste is definitely nothing like in the movie. I like to think that Roman's... Why are you laughing?
This is so funny. You're like, thankfully, it's different.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because now I can appreciate it.
I was actually on the train of not liking movie Zsasz because I wanted him to look like how he is in the comics, but after watching the movie, I've changed my mind. He's very attractive.
Oh, really?
And I'm fine with it.
I haven't noticed.
Stop. As for his clothing taste, I like to think that Roman Sionis didn't want his right-hand man to dress in ugly clothes, so he bought clothes to dress Zsasz in because he didn't want his boyfriend to look ugly.
I see it. I 100% see it.
I mean, come on. Like, the clothing taste is way expensive. There's no way Victor Zsasz is picking out his own clothes.
No.
In the comics, Zsasz is a serial killer. He kills people with his knife as a form of liberation and has tallies on his body for each person he's quote-unquote freed. His creepy dialogue is pretty standard from what I've seen, and to my knowledge, he isn't as skilled as Roman in anything really. He isn't even like extremely cunning or intelligent like other Batman villains. He's kind of just like a serial killer. And I don't think he has like a history of being a henchman, so I think this was like an original creative decision by the screenwriters.
I agree. Their outfits are really good.
Oh my god, yeah, like they're fucking fashion icons.
When I was watching the film, all I kept on looking was Victor's outfits, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like everyone's outfits are fucking phenomenal, but
no,
like,
but like his are the ones that you could actually wear.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I have it in my shopping cart right now. I have 2 shirts that are similar to
it?
Like
no, just kidding.
I really want to dress up like Victor Zsasz. Like this movie was released in February and it's November right now. Like I've been wanting to dress up like him.
You shut up. Because I've been telling you to save money to do it, and you keep on buying print t-shirts with like Bioshock designs.
It's not my fault. I'm a geek at heart. I'm sorry I can't be Victor Zsasz.
Well, it sucks for you.
How'd you think of them as the villains of the story?
I think they were neat. I think they were really interesting characters to have as villains. It was a little weird that
That what?
the villains were kind of coded to be gay men. But you know what? The weakest link. Oh my god. Shut up. I don't know.
I thought it was really interesting because they're like cis men and they are condescending and cis sexist on top of being like villains. And I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly how they should be portrayed.
Like, just the way, both of their attitudes towards Black Canary shows everything.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they treat her, the way that they speak to her, especially Victor. He's so fucking jealous.
Yeah.
He's so jealous. And he's like, get this bitch out of here. And then Roman is just acting like he owns her. And the language of ownership is present throughout the whole film that it makes Victor shake. He's like, no.
I mean, they're just like, they're so, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about the scene in the car with Black Canary. And when Zsasz says to pull over, dude, like, I don't know. This is very specific, but it's just like being alone in a car with like a man. That's just so terrifying to me. And then when he tells her to pull over, I was just filled with so much fucking fear because I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do something to her.
Also, just the power dynamic, especially after seeing Parasite driving somebody and just like how they hire Canary to be their driver. It's just like connecting it to Parasite.
True.
But they're putting like a control, like, you are taking me around. It's just like, okay, assholes, I see you.
They're assholes, but they're so fucking funny. Oh my god.
They're great, honestly.
Oh yeah, he would really annoy me when he was showing Black Canary the stuff around his apartment.
Yes.
Because it very just reeks rich spoiled white man when he was like presenting all this like quote unquote exotic stuff, because I'm sure that's how he would describe it. It was just like, oh my god, shut up, man. Yeah, so I think their portrayal is really great as villains.
That entire room, the set, shows a lot about him because, okay, yes, there was the mask and it shows like the white man entitled nature, thinking you could go to places and get things. But also the background, the wallpaper was just like a woman bounded up and tied.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I see.
I love how he says K. It's so fucking condescending. Like, it's just so funny that they chose that to be one of the like character traits for a villain. I was just like, oh my fucking god, this is priceless. And like, I know a lot of people like shit on Roman Sionis because he's kind of like he's certainly less than how he is in the comics, but like you can see bits of like his villainy personality. You see his like calmness and charisma easily switch to like violent anger. And like so like saying that, oh, he's just like a flamboyant gay man, it's like no, he's still like a very angry and violent person.
That they think that's what a flamboyant gay man is?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I bother
Dude.
looking at like reviews from idiots about comic book stuff.
That's so stupid. And they're dating. That's their dynamic.
Oh yeah, they're dating.
They're dating.
Yeah, I really like Roman and Zsasz. I just want to be Victor. I just want to dress up like Victor Zsasz. Like, man,
Okay.
looks so
Okay,
good.
wait. I just remembered the scene. Oh my gosh, the one where the Black Mask Club song is playing and Canary's like watching them like make a woman undress in front of them on top of the table, and just because Roman was annoyed by her laugh because he thought she was laughing at him, that scene is so powerful.
It is. And to say that he doesn't have like some sort of villainy in this movie, it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, do you not? I think the people who are commenting that, they don't notice it because they act like Roman Sionis. They don't understand that this movie is about sexism. Like,
and the thing is, maybe to them that's not terrifying if they haven't been
marginalized genders. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. But the Black Mask Club is such a good song that I put it in my gothic horror playlist. Just saying.
Before we get into like the story and stuff, I did want to ask you about like your general opinion about the sets.
I thought, okay, I know you're more into this than I am, so maybe you're gonna be able to explain.
It's okay.
Maybe
It's okay.
you're gonna be able to say
I'm not gonna go in detail about anything. I just want to know what your opinion is.
Okay, the Gotham that they presented in the movie was very different to how it's typically presented. We saw, from what I remember from the Batman movies that I saw like 5 or 10 years ago, it showed a Gotham that just felt kind of like New York City. It was just a city during the daylight, and it just happens to have vigilantes.
Yeah, no, you're talking about the Nolan trilogy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many problems with that series. So, no, yeah, I definitely, I don't like that. I don't like I don't like how they portrayed Gotham as another city.
You don't like it in Birds of Prey?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh no! I'm talking about the Nolan trilogy. Because they were just like, oh, let's just get some shots of like NYC or some shit, not make it unique the way that Gotham is.
But did Birds of Prey really make it unique?
Well, from what I understand, I've seen like some commentary from like the director and people who worked on the design of the city. They wanted to show like the livelier parts of Gotham because they felt that that's where Harley would be. So they didn't really have a lot of opportunity to portray Gotham in like the old drabby gothic city with a bunch of trash everywhere, because they felt like Harley wouldn't be in those places.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of why a lot of the places that Harley visits kind of feels like a regular city, except for like kind of like Amusement Mile and the Booby Trap. I feel like those sets were very those stand out a lot. But did you not like that they showed?
No, I did like it. It was just strange for me because I have these expectations of Gotham because of Christopher Nolan. And
don't base it off of Christopher Nolan.
I mean, as somebody who doesn't read the comics and has only just started really reading comics recently, I have expectations based on the movies that I saw.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
valid.
like, it felt strange.
Well,
to see this Gotham, because as you said, like Harley wouldn't be there, but I was like, okay, this is not really Gotham. But now that you explain it,
yeah, I did like how Joker had Gotham though. Not a lot of commentary about the architecture itself, but I did like how they portrayed it as a very trashy city, because that's how it is. I will say though that I'm very excited about the Batman 2021 because they are filming in what is it? I forgot what city. Edinburgh?
Robert.
No. They are filming in a city. The name, I can't remember it, but I've seen some like pictures from fans and just like, oh, the architecture looks so good, and I'm very excited for that movie. That's gonna be the Gotham that I want. I really am so excited for that. Oh my god. I did want to say though that I liked that they included the market as one of the sets for this movie.
The market?
The market in the very beginning where Harley is being chased by Renee
yes
Montoya.
It's okay,
because I feel like you could really get a feel of like, because I mean Gotham is a city with a bunch of people, and I feel like that really portrayed like, you know, people being together in like a community.
You're so smart. Me? Yeah, that's an actual thing. Well, I took a lot of fantasy courses in school. And I can't believe I didn't realize it before. But like they would always tell us like focus on the market scenes because that's how they present to society. Like that's their presentation to society creators. And I was like, wow, Ellie, you're so smart.
Thank you for the compliment, Professor Andrea.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome, I mean. No, but like I didn't realize that. Now I kind of want to go rewatch it and see what it shows.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a rewatchable movie, which we'll talk about later. But what sets did you like? Well, did you have any favorite ones?
I liked the carnival place house where they do the final fight.
Same.
And where they have the hands. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
The hands. Are you talking about the woman screaming as the entrance?
No. They were...
Okay, because I really liked that, though.
I don't remember if this was in the carnival house or if this was somewhere else, but it was like hands and they were making eyes of shape of an eye. And I really thought that was neat. I think it might have been in...
You're talking about the Black Mass Club.
It is.
Yeah, because Roman has a bunch of hands everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason why they
Control
chose that,
hand, the invisible hand, something like that.
Probably.
And that the fact that the hands are making eyes, he sees everything and he controls everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the final set with the carnival place, I think it was so cool.
The booby trap,
and they made it so... The booby trap, is that what it's called? Dynamic for them to fight. And it was... I don't know. It made the fight scene really enjoyable to watch even more.
And I feel like it fit the tone of the movie because it's very fun and creative.
Especially that scene where Huntress is riding down a slide and she's killing a man and just stabbing him relentlessly.
Oh my God, there's just so much about the booby trap, but like one of the things that really stood out that I haven't really seen in like, well, I mean, I haven't seen a place like that in any sort of action movie, but where Huntress fights a group of men, it's like tongues, and she had to like hop from one to the other and fight people that way. I thought that was very interesting. Like it like the fact that we got really creative with the set and like tried to like, because like it flows all together. Like the positioning of the camera, the set itself, and then like incorporating fight choreography with those really weird sets. I just thought it was really fucking cool.
It really was. It made... Okay. Not that I don't enjoy fight scenes. No, I don't criticize them as much as other people. I don't notice it when it sucks or when it's good. It's not something I've taught myself to criticize well. But this was just so much fun to watch. I genuinely enjoyed it. And it wasn't just because of the Black Canary's pants. It was just like... It was so much fun to watch. And they all had different... fighting styles, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's really important though, that they had their own stylized fighting, because each character was trained differently. Renee is like a brawler, kind of like a boxer, and Dinah's a martial artist. Harley's like a gymnast, and she has a wacky personality, and it kind of bleeds into her fighting. Who am I missing? Oh yeah, Huntress is an assassin. I don't know specifically what she studied in, but yeah, I feel like that's very important.
Played Assassin's Creed.
Do you know how to assassinate people now that you've played?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes, I do. Anywho, she puts the ass in assassinate.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So yes. I was really excited about the fight choreography for this movie because the stunt coordinator / director of John Wick, who is really great at stunts, worked on this film, and that's why it's so fucking good.
Oh.
Yeah. John Wick has really great fight choreo. It's the only reason why I watched that movie. To look at the fight scenes. I like the fight scenes. It's really fun to watch it. I don't really like the movie itself. I thought it was okay. I liked also that the fighting is very unique to women, because I feel like some movies are kind of just like, okay, so the fight choreo is going to be exactly how it is for men, but we're just going to give it to a woman. And it's like, no, because their bodies are built differently.
When they do that, they're still gonna, even though they give them the exact same fighting skills or types, they're still gonna like have that one shot where they zoom in on her butt or her boobs, and they're gonna be like, wow, look at that fight. And they do that in Suicide Squad a lot, where Harley's fighting and it's just like zoomed in on her butt.
I have many things to say about Suicide Squad, but I can save it for another time. If there is another time, I don't know if I want to watch that movie again.
I have to say that my favorite fight scene will forever remain to be the scene where Black Canary says Harley. That is such a cool scene. It's so cool. It hops out of nowhere. Like, not out of nowhere, but I wasn't expecting her to be this badass, and she's just like doing kicks, and it's like everywhere, and my heart is racing, and I'm dying.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't suspect it, because like even Roman wasn't aware of the fact that she was a martial artist.
Yeah,
she's very under the radar because she doesn't want people to know about her.
This is so powerful. Such a powerful
She is so powerful.
That scene could be something that's so personal.
Stop. I hate that. Oh my god. I especially love when she kicks the door and it goes into oh my god, it just looks so fucking cool. And the camera angle is like, a lot of time with action or with fight choreo, the camera doesn't work to where it benefits like it doesn't benefit the fight scene, you know? But like I feel like the camera work for this was pretty good. Because I could really appreciate
another thing I really liked about the movie, and I'm gonna mention bones breaking right now, so skip a few seconds if you don't want to hear about this. The scene where Harley jumps on the guy's legs and she just breaks him in half.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Oh, I would love to do that every time a man says something stupid.
Yeah. That's so powerful.
Just live vicariously through Harley Quinn, who doesn't take shit from men. My favorite, I have oh my god, like very specific, but I have a favorite like fight scene from this movie. In the evidence room / warehouse in the police department, when Harley, oh my god, I'm just like getting so excited thinking about it. But Harley uses his bat to get out of the hold of someone who grabs her, but then the person grabs her again because she was too slow to run away from him. And then like there's another person and she uses the person who's holding her to like kick the other person away, and then she goes under the legs of the person who's holding her to knock him onto the ground, and then she rolls over his body and then stands up and then slams the bat onto his head and then throws the bat on the floor, which bounces up and hits the other person in the head, and then she catches it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, that move is just like so different and refreshing from like other action movies. Like it's just such a good fight scene. Like I love the warehouse scene. That's good shit right there. I just realized that there are 2 DCEU movies that have really good warehouse fight scenes. And it's Batman versus Superman in this movie. That's so funny. Fun fact, Superman. That fight choreo right there, that fight scene, that was actually Margot Robbie, and it's so fucking good. It's somewhere on the internet. Like someone on the crew recorded it and just like posted it on Instagram or something like that, and yeah, oh my god, it's just, she did so good in that scene. I love that she does her own stunts. Okay, so now we will talk about story, our last section.
For somebody who has a brain that works like mine, I need fast-paced stories to focus. It's the only way media could grab my attention. It's the only reason I like fantasy, and I don't like contemporary. Contemporary books are so fucking slow and I hate them. Anywho, this was just like non-stop and I love it. Like the only soft moments were like so short, but they were like, because they were short, they were impactful, and then we go back into the action and it was just really good.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, because sometimes I pull up this movie to watch like a specific scene, but every time I do that I end up watching the movie for like 20-30 minutes because it's so easy to get pulled into the story.
Really good pacing in my eyes.
And all done in like an hour and 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a short movie.
A 90-minute movie. It's really good.
The way I've been watching movies recently, I will literally watch them like sitcoms. I will watch 20 minutes and then I'll go do something else. Because that's the only way I could focus on them.
You stop at like the bathroom scenes?
Yeah.
There are no bathroom scenes for this movie, though.
No, it's just continuous. And I was able to sit down and watch it in one sitting, which is something I haven't been able to do for any movie in a long time. And it was like really refreshing and I love it. I think that's why I quickly decided that it was going to be one of my comfort movies. Because I could just focus on it and it would be really nice.
Definitely, yeah. I also really like how the story structure is out of order. Because I feel like that really complements Harley's character and like the tone of the movie. When
I finished watching the movie, I liked searching Twitter and seeing what my mutuals say about it, and I saw a lot of people complain about that, and I was like,
really?
Ooh, like why would you believe Harley is a reliable narrator who would keep the story in order? It's literally if somebody was telling you a story and they forgot something, they're like, oh wait, I told it out of order.
Yeah,
I'm
love
sorry.
how in the beginning of the movie she's like, I'm gonna fucking tell this story how I want to, and then it's
Yeah.
like 4 minutes ago. It's just like that says so much about Harley's character. I don't know how you could not like it.
This movie really does, like, the writing serves the character, not the character serves the writing. And I just think people don't realize that, and they just think it's sloppy storytelling when it really is just being true to how the character is, and not having to change her for our own idea of a sequential story.
I really like how this movie is not directly about cis men, like the oppression that they face because of cis men. And I just love how Birds of Prey just like acknowledges everyday cis sexism for women.
It doesn't, the fact that they don't center the plot on what they face from cis men, as you said, it just makes it not be a girl boss movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up, because I have watched some movies that are like, you know, they advertise it as all women leads, and it's like, oh, I'm really excited about this movie, and then you watch it and it's like, okay, the next scene is gonna be about women and how society is cis sexist. And it's like, yeah, we know that society is cis sexist, and the audience knows that. You have to understand that the audience is smart enough to recognize these things, or maybe they won't. But if your movie is going to include themes about cis sexism, then you don't have to like point it out. You don't have to write like on the fucking forehead of the character, hey, look, this is a really sexist person. Like, you know, it's very frustrating. And I really liked that this movie incorporated many ways in which cis sexism exists in our society without being too obvious about it.
I'm gonna forever, I'm sorry that I'm bringing up Marvel again, but I'm gonna forever compare any girls fighting scene to that one in that one movie, the Endgame. How they really thought they did something by having girls walking together.
So the movie, as I said, has a lot of like subtle and not so subtle examples. One of my favorite ones in this movie, personal favorite, is in the very beginning when Renee Montoya is being undermined in the workplace, when she's at the crime scene with her partner, and like her partner is mocking her, and he's like saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'll let you work. Like, it's just so fucking condescending, and like I've experienced that in the workplace so many fucking times, and like just to see that in the movie and to like see the frustration on Renee's face, I was just like, oh my fucking god, I feel you, man, I feel you.
Fucking hated every scene with cops. And the film doesn't make them look nice, which I appreciate. They are just a bunch of assholes.
Well, Roman and Zaz are very attractive.
No, I meant the cops.
So, oh, yeah. I thought you meant like the asshole men. And I was like, no, there are attractive men.
Cops. We love Roman and Victor.
Did you have a favorite scene?
I like this bathroom scene with Huntress. I think it was really funny. And just, yeah, as we said earlier, it was just funny to see a character try to like get into the personality they want to be in and the person they want to be by like talking to themselves in the mirror. And then my other scene that I really liked was called Black Mask Scene, where he's being a creep. Yeah. I think they really successfully pulled that scene off. Yeah, and I think it's the fact that I had already loved the song so much, and just to see how they used it was really amazing to me at that moment. I was just like mouth open, like jaw drop. Yeah. Like watching it, experiencing the music with the scene, with the crazy characters. It's just really good. My favorite scene is 25 minutes, 30 seconds into the movie. And yes, I know that because I have this movie downloaded on 2 different apps on my phone. Damn. And when I need to see that scene, I just pull it up to watch it. And it's the part when Roman Sionis says, fuck family. Oh, I got it. All due respect, but fuck that. Family's a fucking illusion. You know what my family gave me? Nothing. I know everyone says, here comes Roman Sionis. He was handed life on a silver spoon. Gin and tonics at 5. I'll have a duck. Blah, blah, blah. Fake fucking fucks. Ugh, what a line, Oh
dude.
my gosh,
oh my
you
God.
memorized it.
Scene.
You memorized it.
Yeah, I've memorized that scene. Such a good, oh my God. I just want to mention that I used
I used an image from this scene before I watched the movie, and it got Elia so fucking mad.
Yeah, I got really mad. How are you gonna use that and not watch the movie? I'm glad you finally did, almost a year later.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like it.
I wasn't expecting to like it. I wasn't expecting to love it this much that immediately, like 10 minutes into watching it, I knew it was going to be a comfort movie. And I don't know what it was exactly about it. I just think it was the mood and the tone of the film that was just like very comforting in a weird way. It shouldn't be comforting to see like people's faces get peeled and shit like that. But what Harley's going through and the rest of the women are going through, it was really fun to see it in a superhero context. And also, when I was watching it, you could really feel that this was a project that everybody who was working on was passionate about it. Like, sometimes you see directors, especially for Marvel films, that you could see that they really didn't want to be part of it, but they're doing it kind of for the money and the glory. But this one just felt fun, and they were just going for it. They were like, we're not going to look at the typical superhero movie conventions. We're going to do our own thing, interpret these characters, maybe some in a bad way, some in a good way, whatever. It was fun. It was such a fun movie, and I think that's 10 out of 10.
I love this movie. Words cannot describe how much I love it. I just think it's such a refreshing comic book movie, and
It really is.
it just hits so many different points for me, and it's just, oh my god, I love this movie so much.
And also, just like the characters were different to how others are portrayed in other superhero movies. They didn't stick to the typical conventions, which was really fun. Because I've been slowly starting to hate all superhero movies, and it's really sad because not Superman. You know, I can't not love those films.
No, but gasp! Have you seen all the DC movies?
No,
You haven't seen Shazam.
I haven't.
You haven't seen Shazam.
I haven't, but I saw Aquaman, and I've only liked one scene from it.
It has its ups and downs.
It does. It's just a lot of wasted potential. I've been disappointed a lot by movies, superhero movies specifically, and I was glad to find one that wasn't disappointing. Like, now that I know that what they did to Cassandra Cain, I'm like, oh, now I don't know how to feel about that, but I still that movie was so much fun to watch. I'm happy I watched it.
Yeah. I'm really, in terms of DC, because that's my main, I'm really happy with the last few years in terms of their movies, and I'm really excited
They've been
about
doing
their
really good except for Aquaman.
Stop it.
Okay.
Let Aquaman be its little I don't know what to describe it as, but let Aquaman be.
Aquaman? You're Aquaman? I would really recommend this movie to anybody who's been getting tired of the superhero movies, and just, it's a refreshing breath of air to see this movie, honestly. It was really refreshing.
I mean, it's a breath of fresh air as a movie in general, and as an action movie,
yeah,
not just
truly,
as a comic book movie.
That's true.
And
it's
a movie about women that doesn't feel forced. This is a movie that I would recommend to everybody. It's just so fucking good. It's just a very unique movie. And the really great thing about this movie is that it's not long. And I feel like a lot of the flaws with movies nowadays is that it's like they have to be long. But Birds of Prey, it understands that if you don't need the extra time, then you don't need to make it long, you know? Because the story fits in the 90 minutes or whatever that it has. And they were like, oh, we have extra time. They weren't like, oh, we have extra time, we could just add in some filler scenes to make it longer. They weren't like that, and I really appreciate it, because it makes it a lot more enjoyable, and also because it's so short, you can easily rewatch it over and over again. Thank you for listening to Labyrinth of the Bazaar. This is a very long episode, probably. I don't know. We'll see how it is in post. You can listen to Labyrinth anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can watch Birds of Prey on HBO Max or buy or rent the movie digitally. Rhea, any last words?
Toodles!
Stop it. Never mind. This is my last word. I'm gonna do the last word. Nope. I'll just end it with toodles. Yeah. I'll just end it with your toodles. Let you embarrass yourself.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
It's not embarrassing unless you make it embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, don't worry. I don't have to say that it's embarrassing for it to be embarrassing.
End it with fuck off. Fuck off, Elia.
That's it.